and I think it gives people like, it's a tool, it's a utility. It's like, oh, I've got an idea now that I can use this thing versus just a buy hold yourself,
Exactly.
right? Now it gives me, literally gives
More
me
options.
options. Yeah, so I do think that
Does my
is.
phone have everyone in there?
Yeah, I got everyone except for actually, yeah, half of you.
Okay. Okay.
Half of you down there. You're all in it. Yep.
All right.
All right, we sit down. I think it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna rapid fire. We got 10 minutes here
All right.
before we gotta start the.
The actual one.
Come over here.
Your
Yeah,
show.
Yeah.
on that side.
Or Andre, why don't you come
Yeah.
over
Yeah,
here?
yeah, yeah.
He doesn't bite.
Hard. Who said that? Who said that?
Yeah.
That's not mine, but I didn't make that up.
You're the best fund manager for views, by the way. Like I've had other ones on, and yeah, you're definitely the one.
It obviously has to do with my wonderful good looks.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with the contact. Well, actually, how do you want to start? You want to kick it off?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Andre McClendon. Today we're having a live interview with Jay from YieldMax, and we have THB, and we also have
Adrian, Passive Income Investing.
Erica from
Erica.
Passive Income Investing.
yeah, and we're gonna have a full talk out. So if you guys watch the live, have any questions, we can't see the questions and comments. So basically, we're just gonna have a full conversation with Jay.
Great. Well, first off, I want to thank you, everybody, for making the trip up to New York Stock Exchange. I got to tell you, ringing the bell is wonderful, but I actually really appreciate all the supports that you guys have given us and being here. It actually, I was very much looking forward to just seeing all of you, and I think our interaction over the last year or so. You were first, of course, Adrian, but all of that. You're number one that first put us online, and thank you for
Thanks
that.
for accepting. Right away, yes.
So no, like I've been appreciative of the community, and so really my thanks to everybody and the support for the products.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, am I grilling you guys?
Yes, you're grilling
okay.
us.
All right. Can you explain to me I'll start with you first. Down days, right? We see down days. We see more volume on down days. Nvidia's been down the last 2 days. We've seen more volume in Nvidia than we have in any other days. I think we'll probably eclipse 3 million shares today, 2.5 million shares today.
Incredible.
What's going on? Why the inflows on down days?
People like to dollar cost average and buy on down days, rather buy on down days than on up days, right? So I think people get excited because, especially a hot stock like Nvidia, they're looking at a time to get in. So if they see a rare down day, they'll get in. And what I like about the YieldMax is it offers a little hedge. So people might think Nvidia is at the top, right? The stock is not gonna, maybe it's not gonna go, it's too high. So let me get the YieldMax because at least I'll be getting that high monthly income.
And it's a little higher, I guess, when it's down, when the price is down.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yield
the yield,
higher.
yeah, exactly. The opposite happens with the yield when the stock price goes up. The yield goes up, right? So it's always more exciting, especially for an income investor, because you do want to maximize your yield every month. So it's the basics are the same, just like you're buying a Nvidia by itself. This is the YieldMax one, but you're still really investing in Nvidia. So of course you want to get it when it's low. And it's a hot stock right now. It's a hot stock. It used to be Tesla.
Yeah, I'm just picking that one up, but there's a handful of them that we just always see the inflows when Tesla was down originally. It was the first one we saw a lot of flows on the down day. I was like, oh no, they're selling. Nope, they're buying on that day. Right?
It makes
So it's
people
a-
feel good.
buy cheaper.
Buy cheaper.
Buy low, sell high. I've heard
Yes.
that's important.
Yes, I think.
Yeah. That's all
I
that's
think with all the influencers now educating people of actually the advantage of when the stock goes down, you're actually able to DCA, dollar cost average, or get into the stock at a price point that you're looking for. So I think people are more, I guess they have more information, they're more intelligent now with their investments, and they're looking for those down days. They actually prefer it. I mean, I know in our community, whenever we see people discussing in our Facebook groups or Discord channel, they love to see the down days because they're scooping up shares at a cheaper deal, and it's you know what they say, you make your most money in a bear market. So that's
All right. Well, look, we see it in the behavior for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Andre, I'm going to give you this one. I know you've not always been my biggest fan in the world, and that's okay. I still love having you here. I think, by the way, sharpest dressed person here. Just want to say that out of the gate. YieldMax, the brand. We have seen, we were first on a lot of funds, right? We kind of, first single stock, alternative income strategy, all those kinds of things. But we were not first on some concepts like our Bitcoin fund, like YBit. And I know you're more of a crypto focus. Yet we see inflows and volume exceeding all the other covered call Bitcoin funds. Any thought as to, is it the brand? Is it the trust of the portfolio manager? Is it just that it's part of, YieldMax and gets fine? Like, what do you think is driving additional volume in that particular fund where we weren't first, right? We were second. There's a congruent product out there. Tell me your thoughts here.
I'll say the main thing is popularity. You're a very approachable guy, like very trustable. And when it comes to cryptocurrency and your guys' product with that, it just combines into like a easy thing to get into. So like when you were talking about Coney or getting into crypto, I'm like, well, he's into crypto. I'm not the biggest proponent of YieldMax, but you're a trustable guy, especially you know what you're talking about. I can buy into it, and I think others do the exact same thing.
So you're saying it's Jay. It's all Jay that they're buying. I'm kidding, of course.
Amazing thing.
Well, no, I mean, that's helpful to know. Like, we've always thought, like, hey, there's a little halo effect from the YieldMax brand. Good to hear that. It's a trust factor. Like, we always say we're in the trust business, right? You wouldn't put your money with somebody you don't trust, right? We talked about that earlier, about even following somebody's live stream or following a YouTube channel. You want to trust the investor. All right, great answer. I think you still like me. I really do. Okay, all right, Coach. I got this one for you. So when you're talking to people about how you allocate funds like this and what to do with these kinds of funds, like what's the number 1, 2, and 3 thing you tell them about using products like YieldMax in a portfolio?
So I like 50% and like income funds, and then 50% and the underlying, like I think you've said. And I like, if they want income, if they're close to retirement, I say, absolutely go for it, as much as you want,
You don't mind?
Yeah.
Over allocate?
Yeah, I mean, it depends, so I like to pick good
It's a
companies.
loaded question, by the way,
Yeah.
because you give me loaded questions all the time. So I would say, look, obviously you don't know all the details,
Yeah.
the risk tolerance and all that about
Yeah.
the investor, but when you think about where these fit, so income,
Mhm.
do you think of them as growth at all?
They can be. I mean, like
Sure.
NVDY, certainly, based on how NVIDIA's done. Coney was doing great at the turn of the year. I mean, it's still up. I mean, some of these are like up 100% in total
Some are.
return. Yeah.
Some are.
So yeah, and you've got the inverse ones now. So, and also YMAX and YMAG.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
YieldMax is one of those products that we think is great for an allocator
Mhm.
and even diversifying some of the risk, right? So now there's how many in there? 21
Yeah.
are in there. There will be probably 30 by the end of the year, at least in YieldMax itself.
Mhm.
So now I'm creating a little more diversification, lower volatility. I think, and I don't know the number right off the top of my head, but up until last week, YieldMax was outperforming the Qs and had lower volatility in the Qs. Like, this is exactly what a yield product is supposed to do for you,
Yeah.
but still provide some of the growth.
Mhm.
So, well, I'm making a commercial here. Thanks.
Yeah.
All right.
I like the idea though of buying, like getting the YieldMax income and then basically buying the underlying, like with the income, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
All right.
Yeah.
What's the one thing you always ask of me? What do you want me to do?
Leverage.
Leverage.
We want some leverage
So what do you guys think about leveraged YieldMax?
That would actually be interesting.
I'm a big fan of like some of the 3x leveraged funds, like
Ooh,
S&P, NASDAQ.
yes.
That's
been hot in here.
that's
Very
very
risky.
crazy for
I'm
me.
very risky, but like the way I look at it, okay, like NASDAQ, S&P, like the market long term always up.
Mhm.
So why not?
Yeah. Yeah,
Why not?
there are very popular S&P, NASDAQ, 2x, 3x. I
Mhm.
think leverage makes my personal opinion, makes the most sense on something like a YMAX.
Yeah.
Because YMAX, my personal favorite, I have it in my retirement account, my dad's retirement account.
Mhm.
His is cash flowing, he's using the income, mine is on drip.
Mhm.
So you asked before, income or growth. Listen, you turn on the drip, that's a growth investment, just with time.
You compound those
So,
shares, right?
yeah. And like you said, what happens when the market, it
Yeah,
always
long
goes
term,
up long
there's
term,
1 or 2 years where it's down, but it's long term always up.
10-year period, 5-year
Yeah.
period even, it's always up.
Yeah.
So YMAX is, the more it gets diversified, the more it's looking like a NASDAQ or an S&P. So that's something I'm very comfortable adding leverage to because I'm holding it long term. So I think with YMAX especially, it makes a lot of sense. And there's a great leverage covered call ETFs in Canada that have been out for a while where investors have the choice. You have the leverage version, the non-leverage version. If you feel comfortable, if you're gonna, depending on your goals, if you're gonna hold it long term, just drip it.
But Adrian, in all fairness, how much leverage do they use? Not 3x.
Not much.
No,
A little bit.
So
Very
1.25x, so 25%.
Just a little extra.
It's just a little
I might be
boost.
okay with a little extra.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
A 3x.
my sweet spot I think would be 25% is good. I could go 50. I could go 33, 50. Anything at 2x, like 100% leverage. Maybe with an S&P 500, something diversified, it would be okay. But personally, I'm very comfortable between 1.25 and 1.5 max. But that's just me. I'm sure.
Listen, you're the one asking. I just wanted to know the opinion, and you've asked me more than once. So
Yeah, there is an
I hear you.
appetite.
There is
an appetite for that.
yeah.
Okay, so you would say almost more of a blended product or index product than a single stock.
I think it makes more sense, and maybe you could start with that. See the demand, and but yeah, imagine a leverage Coney or Nvidia. That would be crazy too with the
You
compounding.
might have run those numbers.
I think if you
Leverage
did leveraged S&P, Nasdaq, and Russell, I think there would definitely be demand for those.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. They make their way into the index lower risk category, but
Yeah.
maybe a boost in yields.
Mhm.
Got it.
Absolutely.
Like I will say, I use a S&P, like the triple one, and it's done phenomenally. Yeah.
Well, it's been a good period.
Yeah.
I mean, people are buying these because, one reason, especially my community, they're, I'm not gonna say lazy, but lazy. They don't want to write their own covered calls.
Mhm.
There is another spectrum of people that don't want to borrow money, don't want to use their own margin, manage that, and have to worry. So they let the fund manager take care of not only the calls, but the margin as well. So the leverage as well. So I think it's very there is a demand for that type of investor.
Got it. Okay. So now I got a social media question for you guys in the last few minutes.
Ooh.
So, would you say is your biggest challenge as you're trying to create distribution and get followers? Like, what is the hardest thing for you to overcome in that world?
The hardest thing would be managing my schedule, managing family, and getting on the YouTube basically, because YouTube is my biggest platform, and doing the streams, because it takes so much time doing the investigation, studying, and building up for the video, that I'm already lost 4 or 5 hours trying to make the video. So it's basically me to be managing the time and the content, because I want the content to be as professional and as good as possible, but I did not lose everything else for time and family.
Got it. And Coach, similar question to you. You're on the internet. You got lovers and haters, right? Like,
Yeah.
how do you deal with that? How do you deal with both sides of that?
Oh, it's fun. A part of me likes the drama. It's fun, but I try to manage it. But it's tough managing schedules and all that. Like I was telling Rod, Retire on Dividends. Like my hat's off. Like I don't know how he does it. With everything he has going on, and that's the biggest challenge growing is the schedule. Like maintaining a schedule, like 2 a day, morning, evening.
Yeah.
If I could get to that, I think it would go a lot faster.
I mean, I know Adrian, when you do videos, you're like, Jay, it'll be out in 4 weeks. Like you have them queued up, ready to go. You have production that you go into. Maybe expand on that a little bit.
Yeah, scheduling is no longer a problem for me. I think I've
Nice.
mastered it. My schedule, I try to do 2 videos a week, and I pre-record them. Obviously, I try to have the 2-3 weeks lined up in a row. So it's just a matter of finding that consistency and doing routine that works best for you. But it's very easy. It's a lot easier when you're doing what you love. So, but I have to say there is a lot of competition now. There's many YouTubers that are covering these funds and income-oriented investing in general. So that's obviously slows down your increase in your subs. But as long as you keep at it and you try to get the valid, honest information. That's why I love having the professionals on, the fund managers, so they hear the information directly from the source. And we're all there to learn, right? So as long as you're trying to educate, and I think another important thing, especially financial influencers, you should show people what you're doing. If you're gonna talk about investing, you better be transparent and show.
That's right.
And some of my most popular videos are my portfolio unveiled videos, because it gives people they have something to look at, and they trust you more because, okay, this guy's actually invested in what he's talking about. So it makes a big difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, in fairness, like I may show mine, but like my Tesla position, I'll just show like the income part of it. Yeah.
Yes.
But-
Well, listen,
but no.
I'll love that one and hate that one for
Oh,
two
yeah,
reasons,
yeah.
right? It's
But
good to
see, you're at a much different stage. I
I
think,
show
like,
everything.
Well, yeah, you do. For me, like when I do YieldMax stuff, like they'll get 2,000 or 3,000 views, but like it's dead after like a day. So I have to keep the volume. For me has to be a lot more. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Any closing comments, guys?
Oh, just one funny question, I guess.
Oh.
Did you really think I was gonna wear the money shirt?
Yeah. I thought it was perfect. I was like, I can't wait to see him up on the balcony with the money shirt. Look, I appreciate the tie.
Yeah.
I appreciate everybody
Yeah.
looking very good.
Uh-huh.
So it's all good stuff.
Yeah.
I got one quick question.
Yeah, man.
I'm just curious. How does it feel knowing you manage, you're making a lot of people very happy. And I mean, these funds are retirees own them, and we get comments all the time. You know, Adrian, you helped me so much. I was so lost, and I always give props. Like I give props to the fund manager. I know you guys probably don't get as much praise, but I definitely praise you. How does it feel knowing that so many people, you're helping so many people that you've never met with their retirement income, just income in general, cash flow? I mean,
and just improving their life.
Yeah, I would
feel?
say it is always, this is going to sound really weird, but it has always kind of been my goal here of evangelizing options for longer term portfolios. When I was at TD Ameritrade and implemented all of the option work and the education work that I was doing there, right? It was just helping the end investor be a little better. When I launched my firm, Zega Financial, it was like, we're going to put out great option strategies. And it was hard getting the word out there, right? But it was always about that. It was always about showing people options aren't only a speculative vehicle.
Yeah.
And so I feel good that adoption is happening now. But thanks to the awareness, right? Like I joke a little to my team, like the overnight success took 14 years to create, right? It was one of those scenarios. We had this infrastructure. We've been doing these strategies. I've been running these for years. Just it ended up being the vehicle and the awareness and this kind of wonderful circle of life where the end investor gets the benefit. I feel like we're doing our job.
Excellent.
And you've said these strategies were reserved like in the 80s for like.
Yeah, we
very
can invite
wealthy.
cover calls.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and some of these complicated using synthetics, you can only find that in a hedge fund.
Yeah.
Right? You couldn't find that in an ETF. So it took some catch up on the regulatory rules to allow these things to happen. So, we're happy that it's people are adopting it.
Yeah.
Thank you for that question. All
Awesome.
right, we got a bolt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Oh, Lord. Let's see this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got that on 4K. Oh my god.
I'm too used to like 35 degree weather.
My audience keeps complaining about, oh, you need 1080p on the.
Wow. Dang, it's a lot of people. Let me see.
17. Oh, I'm